Hi, guys, and welcome back to the Conscious Cowboys. You've got Tess and Madison, and today we've got a random episode.
Yeah.
Because, I'm just going to throw little topics at you along the way, and then from what you described, you've got like some sort of Q&A.
We're on the same wavelength. Yeah, Q&A by Madison, for Madison, and Tess.
I thought it was by Madison, for Madison. I was like, okay,
Oh,
cool.
You're like, okay, I'm left out. Rude.
No, I wouldn't be mad.
What was I going to say about this? Oh, is that I wrote in my notes that Tess was out of town this past weekend. And so this podcast was just going to be chill. I mean, they're always chill, but you know.
Yeah. If you've been a listener for a while, we used to do palate cleansers. And I feel like this is very much so a palate cleansing episode where it's just like a ton of random topics. We'll see where the wind takes us.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, same.
It's good to be back because she picked me up from the airport yesterday and we were catching up a little bit, but I feel like we haven't hung out properly since I got back.
Yeah, true.
So this is like
Except
the first.
for like all of yesterday, but yeah.
But like we were doing stuff.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
But yeah,
Once again,
true.
No, throwing me under the bus. This is a theme now. Madison likes to just.
No, I was just showing the other side. I was like, well, we did hang out.
We hung out, but I feel
but
like
it wasn't like a debrief maybe?
Yeah, we didn't like talk a lot.
Yeah.
We were just busy doing things.
Okay.
So anyways, now I'm mad. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. We're over.
All right.
Okay.
Should we?
Where do you want to start?
Well, I've got random topics. Is yours more focused?
No, mine are random too. So I feel like we should just
See where
come
the wind blows?
into it with the nice guys topic first, because that's like the most concrete.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this past weekend I was visiting with all of my girlfriends, minus Mad. And we were all together. And one of my friends mentioned to me, like she was kind of downloading me on her dating life recently and kind of how things have been going.
Yeah.
And so we were chatting about it and she was like, I don't know. Like he might be too nice. And then I started thinking, no, we all do this.
Yeah.
The nice guy thing. Like we are not attracted to boys who are the nice guy.
Yeah.
And then we get into this cycle where we're dating people who are like not available to us emotionally or don't treat us as well as we could be treated. Mm-hmm. And then we kick ourselves and ask ourselves why we're doing this, yet we find ourselves just not attracted to what we deem as nice guys.
Okay.
And so I had asked her, well, what does that even mean to you? And like, why is that not attractive? Like, what does that mean of being the nice guy? Like, why are you not like, ooh, I want to date someone who's nice? Because when you boil it down, isn't that obvious? Like, yes, of course we want to date someone who's nice.
Yeah. Well, then I think, do you want to give what she answered or do you want to just go for it?
Well, okay. What she answered was, and maybe you guys will relate and maybe this will be some of yours too. And then we can dive into like maybe what you had in mind. But she was like mentioning to me that she has broken up with every nice guy. Like she's just like been not intrigued by it. Like she gives it a shot and then she's like, you know what? This is like vanilla. This is boring. And I asked why. And then she went into further detail on how it's just not very interesting or stimulating. Like it's almost above and beyond. And it kind of seems like they don't have a backbone because everything is like so nice and all about you. And they're willing to like cater to you and all of the above.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Like to have someone who's just interested in you and wants to do things for you and with you. But then I understand it on a deep level of like, you almost don't want to be their main priority in a sense. Like it's kind of nice that they have other things going on. And then like they kind of put you in your place every once in a while. Like I think we're sick in the head a little bit.
Well, I almost think that nice guy, like if in the way you described it, like when I think of like if someone says, oh, he's like too nice, I think of many other words that go under the umbrella of nice guy of like, I don't want him to be clingy. I don't want him to be all about me. That's like clingy and holding on for dear life. And then I also don't want him to be a pussy, which that sounds really mean, but you know, it's just like, I don't want him to be wimpy.
Yeah.
Like I don't want, and I do like when people are nice to me, but if it's characterized under that nice guy title, those are typically the other words that come along with it. So like, obviously we do want men to be nice to us.
Right.
But
it's just funny to me that sometimes like their initial wave of niceness is seen as a red flag.
Yeah. Like
is maybe like where I was going, maybe we should look at this.
Yeah.
And not just saying that my girlfriend who was telling me this, like, oh, hey, let's have a sit down chat. But just in general, I think we
like
all
why?
can agree
Yeah.
that we don't want the guys that we date to fall under any of those words that you just laid out.
Right. Oh, I also think that there are a lot of women that do fall for the nice guys, which is really awesome. And maybe psychologically they're more healthy than we are. I don't really know. But I don't know, something about like having a man, because we're not using boy anymore. I always want to say boys. But something about having a man that is like a little extra spicy, you know? It's not like totally nice, but like can be a little mean to me. Yeah. That sounds weird, but like just a little bit.
Yeah, not a lot. Like, let's make
no,
that very
don't be
clear.
Like a complete a-hole, but like just like a little mean.
Just
like
enough
talk like a
to
little
put
bit
you
of
in
shit.
your place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. No, I know, and it's
Put
not
me
even
in my place. He's like whip.
No, not like that, but just I don't know. Sometimes like if you feel like you're always wearing the pants, it's not that attractive.
Oh God, no. Take initiative and be in charge sometimes.
Yeah, I don't want to be the one ruling the roost.
But it's really funny because like I kind of want to rule the roost, but I want to make him think that it was his idea. So then like psychologically, I'm ill. Like if I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, I want to go to dinner here. But like you take initiative and suggest the place that I want to go to and take me, you know? Right? Is that fucking weird?
No, I think that's kind of normal.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
I don't
odd.
know.
But yeah, typically, yeah. Oh my gosh. But then I think about when your friend said that about she typically breaks up with them because they're too vanilla. And then I'm like, well, you break up with the ones that are kind of mean too.
Yeah.
So then it's like,
yeah, it's a wash.
it depends. It's a wash. They all suck.
You just break up with them all.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I don't know. I guess I didn't even have like a full concrete thought over this nice guy thing. It just sparked something in me where I agree. I don't want someone who is vanilla either. I don't want to feel like I have a guy who's wimpy.
Right.
You know, but
yeah.
I also, I want to be more open to the men who are nice and are not trying to play games, you know, like
right,
it seemed
totally.
like what's wrong with him being sweet and like, you know what you're getting, like cards on the table. Like that's nice.
Yeah. We want them to be
It's a refreshing change, to be honest.
We want honesty. No, we want them to be sweet, but then we also want them to be able to kick a little butt.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, that just reminded me. Mad said
I'm trying not to say bad words.
Yeah. So I think that we've figured out why things are not performing as hot on social sometimes for us.
Yeah.
And it's because we think that we're kind of being like shadow banned.
I am positive that this is why.
Yeah. And it's because some of our podcast clips that we share on social.
All of them.
Okay. All of them have
profanity in them.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
And so we did a little social experiment where we archived. So we removed publicly our videos that include the profanity. And then all of a sudden our channel started doing way better.
Specifically on TikTok. We didn't remove anything off of Instagram.
And
I think even for YouTube, they don't like it.
Great.
And
so
I'm like,
so you know deep down that, yeah, we want to be truck drivers because it's just more natural to us.
I love it. It's so funny to sling those words around.
You know, but it might be better for us.
I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try.
Because I mean, it doesn't bother me and I don't think that it's unprofessional, but I think that sometimes it can come off as unprofessional. Mm-hmm. Not even that this is a professional setting, but maybe someday it should be.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's probably good for us to clean it up a little, put some soap on that.
Yeah, but then I think of like all the people who have successful podcasts and they say bad words. But I understand at the beginning, we just won't use them as much.
Yeah, or we'll
because
bleep
we're
it
all
out.
adults, you know? Like we should be able to say it. But I understand.
And if you're offended by profanity, then
they probably don't listen.
Yeah, I don't understand. But yes. Okay. Moving on. What do you have?
Oh, okay. So I just have written down, which I always do in my notes. I write down things throughout the week.
Your phone dirty?
Yeah, it's so bad. I write down things throughout the week that I was thinking about. And so they turned into questions because I have my answers. And I thought it would be boring to just be like, here are my answers. So I was like, oh, I'll ask you and then I'll say what mine answers are.
Okay, so if Madison sounds way more articulate and way cooler than me, it's because she's had time to think about her answers. So let's go.
That's because I have all week long, because I specifically like set it up that way of like, oh, I could use this for next week's podcast.
Weren't you gonna share these with me ahead of time and then you just didn't?
No, because you said you weren't gonna share any of yours, so I was like, oh, okay, I just won't share mine.
Well, I'm not asking you a question.
Oh no, these are really easy.
Okay.
So I've been listening to throwback songs recently, and I heard a lyric in a song where I was like, dude, that lyric shaped me as a child.
Oh.
So I was going to ask you if you remember any of yours, like out of songs that you liked as a kid that shaped you, or that you remember like vividly.
I mean, I don't, I'm trying to think the ones that live in my head. So my mom raised me on R&B and hip hop. So like 90s to early 2000s, that era of those two genres. And so like the ones that pop up for me are like P.D. Pablo, where he's singing all the girls' names. Like that's what shaped me.
I literally actually, I don't know what that is. You'll have to play it for me after.
Oh, okay. Keep going. I don't know. I don't have any like, I just am dying to know what yours are.
Oh, well, no. So I was listening to Usher the other day, because Usher and Chris Brown and all those people like Cassie, that shit in high school was it for me. As a kid, I have Led Zeppelin lyrics that I remember that were like very prominent, but specifically the other day I was in the car and I was listening to Yeah by Usher. Okay. Remember that song?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my God. Fucking bang still. It's like still good. And I just said that for damn it. But they say in there, what is it? They want a lady in the
lady in the sheets, but a freak in the bed.
Yeah, and I was like,
lady in the streets.
Lady in the streets,
but a freak
in the bed. And I was like, that in high school shaped me. That's horrible.
Is that who you were?
I was like, oh my God. Isn't everyone kind of like that? A little bit. But I was like, that, I have not thought about that in so long, but that like was burned into my head.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the start of ninth grade.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
This is explicit. Heads up.
Oh, this song. Oh, and he's like Diana or whatever the words.
It's not Diana. I can tell you that.
Rap it. I want to hear.
What's up, Dominique? Yo.
This is going in the whole clip. This whole part of you.
How you like that, daddy? It's bad. And I was like 8.
And she's freaking out over me saying lady in the streets or a freak in the bed.
No, I told you this was bad. Okay.
Let her skip
He's
to
like,
it.
tell me what you want. Do you want it missionary with your feet crammed to the headboard?
Yeah,
do you want it from the back with your face in the pillow so you can yell? And I was young.
Yeah.
Very young.
And we just didn't know.
No, and it didn't matter. Not to say that my mom didn't think about it, but it like wasn't that big of a deal to us.
Yeah, and
like it doesn't mean that an 8-year-old is like picturing it. Like I just knew the words and I was just singing
it. Oh, totally. Tess and I have had this conversation a lot of times, is that our parents didn't really shield us from a lot when we were kids. Like we were watching R-rated movies since we were like in elementary school.
Yeah, and I feel like it worked out for the best. I know a lot of people want to shelter their kids, and who knows how we'll be as parents, but I really think that I'm going to follow like my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because we have exposure to those things doesn't mean that we're going to recreate them in our own lives. And I think if anything, it brought awareness to what's out there so then I could make my own informed choices.
Yeah.
And I just like was not the person in the white. Like when we were growing up, when we say the white, we mean like
you're
oblivious.
In a blizzard, like you can't see, you're not aware.
We just knew what was going on. And so I feel like I was better set up for success because I like knew about things.
Yeah,
I wasn't naive.
I would say the same, but I don't know, maybe more so along the lines of when those things were said, or it wasn't like a surprise to me, and I also like didn't care because I had heard those things already, and I was like, I'm not impressed by that. Like, what are you saying? I don't give a
right.
I hate not saying bad words. It's
just
so
say
sad.
it. Who cares? We'll just bleep it out.
No, maybe.
I don't think YouTube is catching it.
I don't know. I was watching a YouTube video this morning and this girl didn't say it because she was like, I think that. Oh. But I know it's also they don't monetize it. Too if you say profanity.
Sad
anyway.
Times.
Yeah. So I remember actually one story specifically, which I've told you this, is that Mean Girls, whenever that came out, I think it was actually like 2007. I think we were, whatever. It was a long time ago. We were in junior high. And I remember I was friends with this girl named Joy, and she was very religious, her entire family. And I was like, oh my God, yeah. I was sleeping over that night. And I was like, yeah, I have a movie I could show you. It's so funny. And I showed her Mean Girls, and her parents had walked in at the part where they're in the cafeteria. And he was like, do you like your muffin buttered or whatever he says?
Yeah.
And so I don't even think I knew what that meant when I was 12. And so I'm watching it, and the parents were like, oh my God, you need to turn this off right now. And I'm just super, I'm like, wait, why? You know, like, I don't even know what he's saying.
Yeah.
And then I never hung out with her again. I was never allowed over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a lot of things where people were questioning like my upbringing too, but that's because they were on the other end of the spectrum where they were like this weekend, one of my girlfriends told me that her dad said when we first met, he was like, oh yeah, you can't hang out with her. You can't hang out with me because of just what was allowed in my life. I'm like, my parents like actually are vanilla. Like we're just allowed to listen to this type of music and watch these movies.
Because it was the real world. I'm like, please, like show me what that's like.
Yeah, but our home life was actually so stable and so normal.
Like we rode dirt bikes and like had family dinners every night.
Yeah, like nothing was wrong.
Yeah, except we were watching like American Pie in the background.
Yeah, and like big deal.
Yeah, I didn't know what that even was. I was just like, who cares? The pie's like on his like,
yeah,
you know?
I was like,
and I'm like,
that's weird.
Yeah, exactly. My parents are laughing their asses off, and I'm like, yeah, yeah. This is funny. Yeah.
We used to watch Cops every night after dinner. Cops. Did you ever watch Cops?
We didn't watch Cops.
Oh, Cops.
Basically,
it's just like live cam following cops around and like addressing different situations. And so I was aware of what was happening in the world.
Yeah, that's probably good.
But it didn't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, we turned out great.
Yeah,
in my
I feel
opinion.
like I also agree, and we're totally biased, but I love the way that we were raised. I feel like instead of Cops, I was watching like Harry Potter. Okay. You know? So it's like
we got some Harry Potter in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ayrton read the books. Catch on to it. You just weren't for it.
Nah.
Oh my God. I watch that every year. I can't wait. Once fall hits, hot chocolates, Harry Potter. Oh my
Apparently
God.
we're in, now that we live together, she's like, okay, so like, you know, we're going to watch all the movies.
Okay, because
we're going to have a whole marathon.
Don't you remember on like ABC Family, I think they did that like 30 days leading up till Christmas or something. Yeah. And they did like Harry Potter, The Grinch, everything.
But I don't understand why Harry Potter is in the lead up to Christmas.
I have no idea.
Nothing to do with Christmas.
No, that's true. It sometimes has like scenes of where they're like Christmassy. I don't know why actually. It just reminds me of fall.
Interesting.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh my God.
Okay.
It's going to be great. Okay. Do you want to do your thing, or you just want me to keep
You're
asking?
literally reading it. I saw
your
eyes.
I swear I can't actually see. I see the less vanilla, but that's because it's in all caps.
Yeah. Less vanilla is about the boys.
Yeah.
This actually reminds me, because we were just talking about some of my girlfriends and our family and stuff, that one of my friends this weekend said, oh yeah, when you said that people might be nervous to hang out with you because they don't want to be talked about on the podcast, she's like, that's so true. No.
Oh, what? Is that a thing?
We never
give names. We never
names.
talk. I mean, we do talk about people, but
yes.
we'll never
but never
give
in
names.
detail. Like no one will ever know it's you. And I don't know. I was just like, oh.
And also maybe don't do us dirty then.
Yeah.
And we won't talk about you.
Yeah. The only things that we'd ever say where we're kind of like, is if you've like,
wronged us in some way.
Yeah. And so like you're chill.
Yeah.
And if we mention you, maybe feel honored.
Yeah,
like,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Aw.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a thing.
Okay. I mean,
don't
I
worry if we hang out. Like we're not going to divulge your deepest, darkest secrets. And the people that I like, my friend who was talking about the nice guys, she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm so excited." Because I told her, I'm like, I have to cover this on the pod. I don't know. I have to figure this out.
Yeah, that's.
And she was
great.
like, "Oh yeah, I'm excited to hear
it out, but
no.
it's good. I mean, it does ask. It just makes me wonder.
I just want to air it out. Like I just want to figure out. Maybe this is an ongoing conversation.
Yeah. And also, if we run into that where a nice guy wants to date us, then we'll have more fuel for that fire, for that conversation.
Yeah.
But I also feel like typically, and I don't know if it's because I think that they're categorized as nice, that I'm like, not as cute, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So then I just don't go for it. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll cross the bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
I saw this meme where it was like, oh, here's that bridge I said I was going to cross when I got there. And I was like, oh, yeah. Because, you know, you're like, well, you're just always saying like, oh, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And then you're faced with it.
I'm literally having to crawl over the bridge. Yeah.
Anyways, besides that, someone was asking, well, everyone that I come into contact with that feels comfortable asking, they're like, who are you talking about when you talk about this or when you talk about this? There are some things that I think that for other people's sake and for our own, like we share so much on here that we want to keep some stuff private. And so like, we're going to air out as much as we can, but we're going to not give all the details because why? Like, can you imagine if we gave the guys first names?
That would be so funny.
It would be funny, but no.
No, because why? And also, it's so
then it
irrelevant.
further confirms that people don't want to fucking be around
us.
Sorry.
But it's also it is just irrelevant because we deal with the issue here and then we just let it go. Yeah. Like, so we don't want their name to be permanently on that episode.
No. And everything that we've ever talked about thus far of like the ghosting or the this or the that, we've like literally it's over. Yeah. We've moved on.
Yeah.
So
that's why this is so
no one needs to get more invested.
No.
You know, like people start like looking up. No.
Yeah. No. And if you do that, honestly, bless your heart for caring that much.
Yeah,
you know?
Kudos. Yeah. Okay, what you got on your questions list? I'm
Another
excited.
thing, a movie that shaped your childhood. There's so many, but I specifically was thinking about one for me. So I was like, Tess has to. Okay. Charlie's Angels, both of them. And not like the old Farrah Fawcett ones, but the ones with Cameron Diaz, Demi Moore, Lucy Liu.
And are you saying that it shaped your childhood by showing you like the type of woman you want to be?
Yes. That, because I was thinking about it because I was watching it the other day. And I think it was actually because when Tess and I did that photo shoot in Joshua Tree and we had burgers and fries that night. And I was like, oh my God, I'm literally Charlie's Angels. Like they're so not saying that I'm like hot, but they're like hot and they go in their convertible and they get burgers and the guy at the front is like, holy shit, how are you guys eating these, you know? And then they drive away and they just are like kick ass. Not that I'm fighting crime on the weekends, but I feel like their energy
during the weekdays,
yeah, exactly, of course, but their energy I feel I have embodied because I watched that so much as a kid and I was like, I want to be badass like that.
I can't say that there's any that, I mean, and maybe I'm just not thinking of it because I'm on the spot right now and I'd have to like really put in thought, but there's none that have shaped me as a woman that I can think of. It's more so movies have shaped my humor.
Yeah, right. It could be that too.
Okay. So
white chicks.
Yeah. We grew up watching the exact same movies, which is really funny because some of it is like our generation doesn't really connect to.
Yeah.
But White Chicks is one for sure. But that I feel like even though we were introduced to that movie at a young age, it feels like that's like not when that kicked in. Like it feels like we were a little bit older when we saw that.
I think we were.
But like all the Austin Powers movies, any Adam Sandler movie, like Billy Madison, or like things like that are a little bit older that a lot of our generation is just like, what?
Which I'm shocked that they haven't seen those. It's actually it's a disgrace, honestly, if you didn't get to see any of those as a kid.
Or like we just recently were watching Ace Ventura.
Oh, Pet Detective.
Yeah, and like you either are in that club or you're not. Like there is no gray area. There is no like, oh yeah, I've seen it and I'm not in love with it. I mean, maybe there is, but like you either have seen it and it has become a staple for you,
or you're just like, ew.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what I can think of when I reflect back on movies, is it shaped my humor.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, next question.
Yeah.
No, that's perfect. That was very open-ended, so.
Cool.
Okay, moments where you thought you might die. So near-death experiences.
There's been a few.
Has there? Okay, great.
Okay, there was one out of like pure fear. I thought I was going to die.
Oh, okay.
Not
great.
like a physical thing that, I mean, I guess it's physical. So when I was little, I saw like come at me, whatever. I had actually a whole debate with someone this weekend about ghosts.
You did?
Yeah.
What were you on the side of? The ghosts are a thing?
Yes.
Yeah, same.
And I'm not even saying that like, okay, our debate was that ghosts, I was like, I understand what you're saying. Like not everybody's going to see the same thing. Cause he's like, I don't think ghosts are real. And I'm like, yeah, we're not all going to sit here and then boom, a ghost walks past us and we're all like, oh, that's a ghost.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that it's deeper than that. I think it's energy. I don't necessarily think it's always something you see. It's based on how you perceive it or how they want to be perceived. Like there's so many factors in my mind. And you're just like, yeah, they're just like not real. I was like, says who? Like, how do you...
Says that person.
But how can you say for sure?
Yeah.
And he was like, science. And I was like, dude, I'm not even going to do this with you then. Like,
yeah, and
whatever.
also science sometimes is fueled by other entities where they don't want us to know that ghosts exist. Oh, I could get into this whole debate, but we're not going to. About the near-death experience.
Anyways, so as a kid, I
is this the one you told me the other day?
I don't know. I was at my parents' house when I was little.
Were you on the couch?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind. Go ahead.
No. This is like the earliest memory I have of anything of that realm, because there's been a few things in my lifetime where I've been like, are you kidding? Like, I do not want this to happen. But okay, so I was little. I was in my brother's room on a desktop computer, and his door is like kind of behind me. So not fully behind, but like in my peripheral vision. So I was trying to navigate the internet, and then iTunes opened, and Tainted Love by Marilyn Manson, which just scared the shit out of me, came on. And this doesn't make sense, so just bear with me, because like I don't necessarily know why a scary song would come on, because it's not supposed to be scary. But like I saw something in my peripheral vision, and I turned, and there was like quite literally a figure in the hall walking past my brother's room into my bedroom.
Okay.
Now, we can sit here and say, well, because you were panicked and because you were scared and young, like your imagination literally told you that there was like a figure in the hallway.
Totally.
And I'm going to say that that's valid. I don't have full proof that there was actually something there, but I was convinced for years that something had happened. I slept in my parents' room for years because of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that scared me so badly. Like, I actually thought I could die in this moment. Like, that is the scariest thing I've ever gone through.
Okay.
The second one, I have a few.
So many.
No,
we'll cut it off at 2.
Yeah, I'm only going to go through one more. This one is legit. This one happened a few weeks ago. And honestly, I haven't told a lot of people about this, so I'm surprised I'm even sharing it on the podcast. Okay. But you know about it.
Oh, yeah.
I was walking home from work, which is only like 2 blocks away from our place. And it was 6 p.m. And here at 6 p.m. at this time of year, that's really bright out. It feels like 3, like it's full daylight.
Yeah.
And walking home and like was not on my phone, was not listening to music, like just fully aware and alert. And walking down the sidewalk, and all of a sudden something comes up behind me, and you can always sense when someone's behind you, right? So I was like, oh, what? And I kind of pulled over and like turned my body to see who was directly behind me. And there was a man who was like maybe twice my age. And he was a little bit taller and wearing sunglasses, and he just full on like a llama, which, not to make light of the situation, but like that's literally what it felt like, was a big spit glob, grazed through my hair. And I was like, dude, what the, fill in the blank. Like I looked him dead in the eye and yelled, dude, what the? And then I was like, are you kidding me? And then in his hand, he pulls up and he shows me that he's holding what I thought was a massive kitchen knife.
Yeah.
Like I saw the black handle and I saw the huge blade, and he just like showed it to me and like stared me dead in the eye. And I was like, oh my God. And I started backing up, and I went and hid behind a truck. And luckily he kept walking forward, but like he came up so fast behind me. I'm a fast walker.
Yeah.
How he caught me, he was on a mission. He was determined to come up.
Yeah.
So he came up super hot, spit, and then I confront him and I'm like, dude, what the F? And then he shows me his knife, and I was just like, oh my God. So I went and hid behind a truck, and I didn't know if he was going to come back for me, because I started calling 911.
Yeah.
And if he sees you calling, he might come up and actually end it for you so that you don't make the call. But then I saw him continue walking, and whatever, he spit on another woman in the crosswalk right in front of me. And then he got away for like 10 minutes, and the police were able to find him and put him in jail. But that was that moment where when you feel someone behind you like threatening you, and then they actually confirm it by holding a huge knife, you think this could be it. Like in this moment, he could have easily shoved that knife so far into the back of me, and that would have been it.
Yeah. I know, that's
like, are you kidding?
I know. I'm happy that nothing came out of that besides like you obviously being scared for your life, and he was arrested. Like, thank God. And
then there was 2 articles published in our like local news saying that twice now a man with a machete, and one was the guy. So I guess, I don't know, I have no confirmation that it was a machete, but like that has happened twice in the past month, where man wielding machete is like taken into custody.
Yeah. I know.
So
Yeah, men in general, like if I'm hiking by myself, which I try not to do anymore, but if there's more than one man walking towards me, like I am literally scared.
Yeah.
Which is sad. And I never want to be naive because we're very aware. But if two men attacked me, I really think the only thing that I could do is scream. And I'm a really fast runner. And maybe I could try to like poke their eyes out. But it's really scary.
Well,
like I'm getting more scared as I get older.
I know, because things are, I don't know if they're happening more frequently or if we're just more aware of things. But regardless, I feel like we're just in it right now. And we're also the demographic that's probably getting targeted more. Well, yeah, of just being like a young woman.
Yeah, I just remember when I was a kid, and I've seen this too, is when I was in Vegas working a trade show a few weeks ago, there's these girls that were maybe 13 or 14, and they were wearing booty shorts and little crop tops, and I'm assuming that they were just going to walk out of the hotel and do that. But that, to me, like as an adult, I would never do that. That is so scary. I try to cover up when I'm out of town, you know, like a little bit more. But I was like, they're just so unaware. And I was the same at that age, you know? Yeah. But it still is so dangerous. Yeah. Anyway,
we
Be
now
safe
strap
out there.
up. We now strap up. We do carry self-defense mechanisms. I'm not going to give you the details because I don't want you to be prepared for it if you're coming for me. But I am locked and loaded, ready to roll. So
yeah, love it.
Anyways, what happened to you that scared you?
Well, I've told you this story, and it was just me being naive, and I fully take ownership of that. Is when I was in New York, and I was traveling to New York for the first time ever, and I was working for Brandy Melville, and my friend at the time, who was also my roommate, Gina, she was like, okay, when you get to the airport, I don't know where we flew in, LaGuardia, is that one? Yep. Yeah, there. And so she was like, when you get to the airport, make sure you take an actual taxi and not those town cars that are outside of the airport that say they're a taxi. And I was like, okay, yeah, like heard what she said. And I walk out, and this guy immediately approaches me. I walk out of the airport, and the guy approaches me and is like, hey, can I take your bag? Like I'm a taxi. And I just went, yeah, because I don't know. And
you were also how old? You were young.
Yeah, I was probably like 18 or 19.
That's pretty young.
Yeah, so I was just, you know, being dumb. And then he puts my bag in his trunk, like very aggressively. And I looking at his car, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't say taxi on it. Like, oh my God. But then at that point, I was like too afraid to be like, I don't want to ride with you. Can you take my suitcase out of your car, you know? So then I just went in his car, and we're traveling throughout New York, and I had no idea where we were going, but we were traveling through, like, it looked just not a good part of town.
Near the airports.
Oh my God. And I didn't know the route. So I was like, he's taking me to his house. Like, and this is where are we going? Right? Yeah, like sort of. I think Uber was like maybe starting. And then I'm like trying to think of exit plans. I'm like sitting in the back, and I was like, okay, so the doors are unlocked. So that's good. Like I could just like get out and tuck and roll, you know? And so I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, there's like a stop sign coming up. Like we're going to do this. And then I think my stopper was like right there, and he's like, okay, you know, we're here. Have a great day. And took my suitcase out, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad that I wasn't murdered. And then I got to
close call.
Yeah. To the apartment, and Gina was there, and she's like, how was it? And I'm like, great ride. Took a taxi, like totally fine. It was horrible.
Not good.
No.
Yeah. The paranoia in me like wants to, when I get into someone's car, check to make sure, not anyone's, but just like if we're doing rideshare or something, to make sure the child lock is not toggled to be on.
So do you like open the door and like
it's on the side
of the
like
door.
As you're getting in the car, you can
see that it's like latched up. Yeah.
But I don't know, because I mean, even if the door shows unlocked, if child lock is on, you can't muscle that. You can't. It's literally an internal thing.
I know. I think about that sometimes. Yeah. Not even to get into it, but I would fight for my effing life. Yeah, dude. That man would not look human after he was done. You know, like I would really F shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, next thing.
Now that I'm scared and sad.
Yeah, exactly. Like we really went a long time with that one, but stay safe, you know?
Did you ever see do you ever listen to the podcast, My Favorite Murderer?
No, I don't like that.
Okay. Stuff. Well, anyways, their slogan is stay sexy, don't get murdered. And I was like,
oh, don't sexy people get murdered?
Yeah, but it's just,
it's their like,
if you know, you
thing.
know.
Yeah. So next thing is what I was thinking about. Okay, so Tess and I recently have been going to Malibu a lot, and we feel very called to be there. I don't know if we're going to live there or something important is going to happen there, or maybe it's just the fact that it's like the best place on earth. I don't know. But we feel very called to that place, and I wrote in my notes, like what has, and this is for like everyone listening, but what has been calling you recently and what do you do with those feelings? Like, I know what our answer is and you can elaborate more too, but like, I don't know if a lot of people like shove it down and they're like, oh no, that's like actually not possible for me. I can't do that. So they just ignore it and it just becomes like a dream where they're like, oh man, in my 20s, I wish I did that.
Yeah.
Which I never want that to happen for us. And I don't think it will. But we try, so specifically with the Malibu example, we try to be in Malibu as much as possible. Like we're like, I don't know how this is like somehow going to benefit us, but we just need to be in this place to like feel this energy and something will come out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, when you say that, like, you can imagine that a lot of people just suppress it and push it down. Like, yeah, I think a lot of people get bogged down by the logistics of carrying out these ideas that come to them.
Which I get.
Totally, because it's a lot of effort to make changes in your life and to go after the things that excite you. Yeah, you've got to really want it. Like, you've got to make it happen. You have to put other things to the wayside in order to push forward.
Yeah, and that's what we do with Cowboys.
Right. But when you pose the question of like, well, what do you do when those feelings come up for you? Now more than ever, I have shown myself in this past, I don't know, honestly, from the beginning of like this year, 2022 on, if I am feeling something, I trust it and I go for it.
Yeah.
Like, I very rarely second guess myself these days. I kind of just act and see where it gets me. And yeah, there's some times where I take a beat and I question, is this really something I should do? Or is this really worth putting a lot of energy into? But for the most part, if something is a big theme like that for us right now, it's a few things, but Malibu is the example you gave. If something is feeling that good and keeps coming up for us, I'm going to go full force. I'm just going to see what happens.
Yeah, same. And I like that we are that way because I feel like if I'm any other way, it's very inauthentic to who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another example is like some of my closest friends live down in San Diego, and I don't know, they like invited me down a couple weeks ago and I went and I had the best time. And like now I'm planning to go again and I'm like, I don't want to stop that because
You're bringing me. We're going.
But I just love, like, I don't know, I loved being down there. I love hanging out with them. So like, I feel called to do that right now. So I'm going to fully act on it. Like, I'm not going to get in my head of like, oh, that's such a far drive, or like, do I really want to go there for the whole week? Like, just go, have fun.
Yeah, for sure.
But
yeah, I think that doing, like, it's very simple of just like doing what feels good to you and trying to not think about what is like what you should do.
Yeah. But also, we talked about this maybe an episode or two ago of just the logistical part of things. You just heard me say that I think San Diego is a far drive from where we are. And I like sometimes I can get in my head of I shouldn't make the drive down there. But then we come back to like, life is short and life should be lived fully.
Yeah. And like, so if I died tomorrow, would I be happy?
Right. And you can say like, oh, well, because I work, I shouldn't. And it's like a lot of effort to go down for such a short time frame and to jet down and jet back.
Yeah.
But like, why not just fill your days? Like for us, we make the drive out to Malibu, which in fairness is not very far, but even on a weekday, we're like, let's just go after work.
Oh, but traffic this and traffic that. And I'm like, yeah, but just sit in the car and listen to a podcast. Like you're still.
And then you're there. Boom.
Yeah, exactly. And also you get to get out of your normal routine, which sometimes just feels just, like you're coasting.
Yeah. And it brings you back to life and it makes you excited about the things that you are doing.
Yeah. And if you hate it, then you never have to do it again, So
true.
Yeah.
You got another question?
No, I think that's it. But
okay.
I did have another one. So you know how like when people are sitting at a dinner table and they do like a
highs and lows?
Yeah. So what has been, you can go in either order of like what your low has been and then what has been a high since we did the last podcast. Or I guess it could be like weeks back if you want.
Okay. I have a lot of highs right now, which is very exciting.
That's good.
I'll just list two.
Okay.
One is that we are feeling this rush of energy between the two of us right now for Cowboys, which is really exciting. Like, I think for a second I was getting a little bit stressed out by the fact that like things were not going the way that I thought they were going to go. And that just boils down to like, honestly, guys, the TikTok thing, right? Where I was just like, it's just not working and I don't understand it. But then I just had this great weekend with my girlfriends where we talked about how it even works. And I just feel like, oh, I've been taking the wrong approach. Like I just need to throw myself into the app and learn it and then have fun with it. Like not take it so seriously.
Right.
So that's one, is like this rush of forward momentum for Cowboys is really exciting. That's a big high for me. And then the second is being able to have spent the past weekend with my girlfriends. One of my best friends is due. She's pregnant. She's due in October. And this was the last time we were going to see her while she's still pregnant until she gives birth. So it was nice to have a full weekend with them. We haven't done that in a long time, all the girls getting together. So
yeah, that's really nice.
Sweet. But yeah.
So then what has been a challenge then?
Challenge is my health has been kind of like hit or miss, it feels, just in terms of gut health. Like things are not, I don't feel my very best right now. And I feel like that's reflecting in the way that things look. Like, for example, I look very pregnant and bloated every single night, and it's painful. So I really need to get on top of that. So, and then that just like when something like that is happening and you don't feel your best, it just kind of creates this like overarching theme of just not feeling that great. But yeah, that's like one of the only things I can think of that's like a low right now, is just like, I really want to figure this out. Yeah.
I was prefacing it as why I keep saying challenge is because like a high and low, like a low, I'm like, you know, challenge, you can overcome it, versus like a low, I feel like is stagnant and it's just like.
Totally. Yeah. So that's a challenge for me right now, is just figuring out what is my body like and why is it doing this? Yeah.
That's a big challenge. That's always ongoing. I feel like as I get older, things that worked for me, we've talked about this, but things that worked for me even 3 weeks ago, I'm like, all right, does not work for me now. I need to do something else. Yeah. It's crazy. Like your one big experiment. Okay. So thinking about mine, I don't even think I didn't write any down, but one thing that was challenging, I'll go with that one first. And I think that I'm still dealing with it I deal with it, I guess, like it depends, but it's sort of going with the TikTok thing, but even more, not as specific of like, I feel very discouraged sometimes because we put so much work into Cowboys and I'm like, come on, you know? Like, when is our work going to pay off? Although it already has, but I think I want it to pay off in different ways. So I think that that's a challenge for me, but that's just like mentally overcoming things in my brain because I, can't force things. So that's a challenge and a high for me. I would agree with the energy thing. I like that. I feel like there is definitely a lot of good energy and we're on the same page, like always, And I did tell Tess this the other day, but after I taught a Pilates class the other day, I literally got like a round of applause, which is like, does not happen. And it's so nice. And I'm not trying to gloat or anything, but as a movement teacher, it's rare that you even get people saying like, oh, that was such a great class, or like giving you compliments in general. Sometimes people refrain from that because I literally don't know why. But to get that feedback, I was like, oh my God, because I was proud of myself, but just to like see people recognize that, I was like, that's awesome. Like that was really special. So
good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad. You are a great instructor. She teaches at a different studio here in town, and we have overlap of clients, which is really cool.
Yeah,
and
cute.
She's newer at her studio, and so people have been coming back to me and are like, oh, Madison is the best. She's so cute. She's so good. She's so cool. Her cues are so deep, which like, if you understand what that is, like cueing is how we teach the exercise. So for cueing to be deep means that it's like very detailed.
Right.
And
like
very
we
precise.
Talk about like the musculature of like your
right.
core.
Like the anatomy, the biomechanics of things.
Right.
A lot of things can just be like, oh, you have 5 more. Okay, push.
Tight.
Squeeze.
Yeah, squeeze.
Yeah.
Good.
And you're just like, okay.
Yeah, because we try really hard as instructors. Like we don't just like roll up and it's just like, and talk. Like we put a lot of energy into it. So when it's received well, I'm just like, yay.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, lots of applause towards you because I hear you're doing great.
Thanks. Great.
I can't wait to take a class.
I know.
It's just in 95-degree heat, and that's just, a lot for hard. my skin.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all for me. That's all for you? Okay, great. Thanks for going down this windy road with us.
I know. It seriously was.
It was quite the cleanser.
Yeah. Also, side note before we go for sure, why do people when they're driving do this? Out the window?
Because it feels great.
Does it? I always am like, that's so nerdy. I'll try it tonight.
Okay. You roll down the window and your hand goes out into the air.
And you go like this and it lifts it up.
People can't, if people are just listening, they can't see it. Like you glue your fingers together and you like go up and down like you're going over a wave.
Everyone knows it. You've seen people do it. You've probably done it. I'm just always like,
Because it's cool to feel the resistance of the air and like how just the angle of your fingers quickly lifts you up. And then when you curl your fingers down, it quickly pushes you down.
Yeah.
So it's not even like you're moving your arm that much. It's just like the little curls of your fingers make your arm and hand move. It's awesome. It feels so good.
Who knew there was a deeper meaning to it?
You have to do it. You have to do it like when you're kind of going fast. Because if you're going slow, it doesn't feel the same.
Okay. It just looks extra nerdy if you're going slow.
Because people can see who it is who's doing it.
Like, there's Tess again.
Woo!
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, guys, that's it for us.
Yay, thank you so much for listening.
You're subscribed. If you have time, go leave a review because it really helps the pod. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we're going to try to say less bad words so we're not shadow banned, and it's fine.
It's great.
Yay. Talk soon.
Bye, guys.